Yo, you standing tall with the numerical tower, Mr. Dylan. Skyscraping over everything in view with Dylan Ultimate Mathematics. Hey, today we working with percents. We got the percent equation, first video of the series. So let's go ahead and slide down to our example of the day. We got $68 is what percent of 95. So our first step, we're gonna go ahead and put 95 and 68. So we got 95. And then we got 68 right here. Go ahead and pull that out a little bit. So first step is we setting up our division problem. Set up division, just like we just did. All right, so now that we set it up, now we can go ahead and start to divide. So that's gonna help us move to our second step of the day. And what our second step of the day, we got the second step. So we got our second step. Now the second step, we got 95 goes into 68 0 times. All right. So we got 95 goes into 68 0 times. So we put our zero right here and we're gonna add a decimal, okay? So add the decimal and a zero, add decimal, and we're gonna add a zero as well. So we're adding a zero right here, all right? So now that's for our second step, all right? So now we're gonna go ahead and move to our third step of the day. Go ahead and erase that real quick. So now we got our third step. And we got our third step is we figuring out how many times 95 goes into 680. So 95 goes into 680. That is going to be 7 times. So we got 95 go to 680 7 times. Put our 7 at the top right here. 95 times 7 is going to give us 665. So we're going to write that right here. Subtract that. That's going to give us leave over with 15. We're going to have our 0. Can drop that down as well. So 7 times and we subtract 680 and 665. All right, so we done did that. Now we go ahead and move to our fourth step of the day. Once we move to the fourth step, we're gonna hit erase that real quick. So we got fourth step right here. So now we got to figure out how many times 95 goes into 150. 95 goes into 150. Into 150. My bad. Forgot to put in two. Go ahead, rewrite that into 150. That's gonna give us one time. So we got one time. So we go ahead and put our one right here. Now we're gonna subtract 150 and 95. All right, so subtract 150 and 95, boom, minus that. That is gonna give us a total of 55. Add our zero right here. Go ahead and bring that down. Now we can go ahead and move to our next step of the day, which is gonna be our fifth step of the day. All right, so now we got our fifth step. So the thing we got to figure out is how many times 95 goes into 550. So once we do that, we got fifth step. So 95 goes into 550 5 times, all right? So we can write that up top right here. We got 5, and that's going to give us 475. My bad, writing a little bit too fast. But it's gonna give us 475. So we got 475. We're gonna subtract that. This is gonna give us a remainder of 75. So we subtract 550 and 475. All right. We're gonna stop right here. As far as our subtraction goes, we got 3 decimal places, and that's all we need for right now. So now we're gonna go to our sixth step, probably one of our final steps of the day. Go ahead, write that in green. So we got sixth step right here. Take our top number and transform our decimal into a percentage. All right, so once we do that, we got 0.715. All right, So once we transform that we're gonna transform our decimal to a percent. How we do that is we're gonna move this decimal right here over two spots. One, two, put our decimal right there. So that's gonna give us a 71.5. And what we're looking for is a decimal, a whole number decimal. So this right here, this five, anything above five and above, we're gonna round. So we're gonna round this right here to a two to give us 72% for our final answer. And this is how you find your percentage of your equation. So our final answer is 72% for our equation of the day. Man, appreciate y'all for tuning in with me. Don't forget who it is, the teacher, Mr. Dylan, and I'm repping Dylan Ultimate Mathematics. Y'all be smooth and catch me later. Got some more videos coming soon. Peace.